that move. Josh Berry went to the top. He was praying somebody went with him. The 19 Ryan Truex went with him. That's what he needed. If that didn't happen, Josh Berry doesn't move forward on that type of move.
Oh, but it didn't last long. Ryan Truex, not Junior, back to the middle. He's going to make the pass on Josh Berry.
Hey, wait a minute. If you're racing here, you should just go by Junior, and there's trouble again. 3 to go on the stage.
My goodness.
And a major hit for Dexter Stacy. Blaine Perkins with huge damage.
He hit the end of the wall, Joey.
Great where it kicks out like that. Oh, my.
Debris everywhere. And a tire bounding out of control into the wall. We're going to take a quick break. This caution likely ends stage 2. Third yellow of the afternoon. Dexter Stacy Blaine Perkins involved at Talladega.
I'm looking for a partner that I can invest $250,000
at Talladega has turned into a red flag. It's Blaine Perkins climbing from the 0-2. AMR safety team was right there to be by his side, and they needed to respond quickly because his crash was spectacular. So let's go back and see where everything started here coming off of turn 2.
So we're going to see a spin from the middle, the 66. He's going to come down and hit the inside wall very, very hard.
And this is where the wall kicks out right there. And that shot doesn't do justice. And look at this car. Barrel rolling down the backstretch.
And that wasn't the half of it. By the way, Dexter Stacy has also climbed from his race car.
So this is Blaine Perkins. You see he's going to get hit. The car's going to catch the air, land right here on the roof, and here comes the barrel roll.
Right when you get sideways like that, it starts to bite, and then off it goes. And at this point, you hope when it's up in the air that it doesn't land on the roof.
Look at the parts and pieces just coming off that race car as it barrel rolls down the back straightaway.
It's at 6-7 times I think I saw that car go around.
Yeah, some big hits within the rolls, right? The revolutions at that speed usually isn't bad. It's the impacts when you come down back onto the racetrack. Those are the ones that hurt. He just gets tagged in the right rear, sends him up like that. And this hit,
you see the safer barrier move, Joey. Thank goodness there was something to give there, but the wall comes out on a little angle there to allow the safety crews to get out on the track, and that angle is not forgiving. As you can see, parts flying off of Blaine Perkins' cars, tires, exhaust.
And that car disintegrated while it was rolling over.
We're under red flag now as NASCAR addresses all this.
Oh, he got the tire.
Yes, he did. That's a lot of damage.
Look at this.
Thank goodness it hit the front of the car.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know what the data would say, but he had backed completely out of it to avoid the incident. And then, wham, that tire comes down and gets him. Jade Buford was in the 5. He was the other driver on the front end of the accident. And this is going to end our second stage. We'll get them going again and do everything officially, but Jeb Burton was leading when all this happens, and all this happened, and he will end up getting his 3rd career stage victory.
You see the hood there on Cascarala's car pushed in a little bit from that tire. I mean, dude, you hit a tire, that's like the scariest thing for all of us, right? Because that thing's going to get launched. It's hitting a very heavy basketball, right? It's got air in it. That
a lot of energy.
Launch.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God everyone's okay on this one. There's some big hits there. Obviously the rollover, but also that inside wall hit, the tire. Things could have looked a lot worse on this one.
Yeah, I'm glad we went to commercial to make sure everybody was okay before we came back and showed the replay. But certainly a nasty hit. Just a big reminder of why we say Talladega can be so intimidating and intense as a driver, because moments like this can happen at any time. Glad everybody's okay.
But everybody in the pack, not only are we thankful that these drivers were able to climb from the race cars, also lucky not more involved. under the red flag here at Talladega. Today for the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Talladega has turned into a red flag. The 5 is Jade Buford. The 02 here, the bright yellow car flipping Blaine Perkins. The barrel roll just spectacular. And behind all of this, Dexter Stacy gets shot out of line and makes contact with the inside wall. And if you're just joining us, all of these drivers did climb from the race car.
It's crazy seeing it from that view, how high the car is, right? Up on top of all those motorhomes, you can see a car just flying above that.
So here we are, back in the broadcast booth. Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, I'm Adam Alexander. So many things to be thankful for in this situation. I said it going to break, but number one, these drivers got from their race cars, which is huge that they were able to walk away. Number two, there weren't more involved because the pack was together as we were anticipating the end of the stage.
Yeah, sometimes you just get lucky and it doesn't turn into a bigger wreck than it was. Huge contact still, either way. And, you know, I think one of the things that is so important for our fans to understand is when the cars come apart like that, that's actually kind of a good thing more times than not. It's dissipating the energy, and rather than the driver feeling it, it's just shedding parts off the car. So great design to this car for NASCAR, and just a true testament to everything they do to make it to where the drivers can get out safely. But whew, still a close call.
Yeah, absolutely. And we kind of seen it coming, right? You're coming to the end of the stage. These guys are really racy. They're 3 wide, 4 wide, shuffling a lot. Guys, this is what we're going to see the rest of the race. This isn't the very end of it. Yes, hopefully nothing that big of a crash again or hits that hard. But as the intensity ratchets up, right, we've seen at the end of the stage this time. Well, you said not a very long third stage either, right? And then everyone's going to keep shuffling like they've been the whole race. And it's going to probably end up in a wreck at some point again. Yeah. I hope it doesn't, but most likely the chances are it happens again.
Let's go to the Care Center. Here's Josh.
Well, Dexter Stacy checked and released from the Care Center. From your perspective, what happened there?
We were just caught up in the middle, and I don't know if the air just loosened me right up and took me for a ride or somebody punted me. To be honest with you, I really don't know until I watch the video. Here we go right now. Yeah, I just got free. Somebody just took the air from me, and I lost it. That's all.
Thanks, and glad you're okay.
No problem.
The impact of this hit at the worst possible angle, and what you said is so true, Brad, and we talk about the element of safety in NASCAR, not just the cars, but the tracks themselves, and there's a good shot of that safer barrier that absorbs so much of the impact of that 66 car.
Yeah, I mean, these are car crashes at almost 200 miles an hour. I mean, it's just amazing that the drivers were able to get out.
A lot to be thankful for here at Talladega. We continue under the red flag as we go back to our Charlotte studios. Here's Shannon.
Thank you so much, Adam. Yeah, I mean, they just mentioned the fact that these drivers were able to climb from those cars. Listen, we love this type of racing at Talladega, but the unfortunate side of this type of racing is what we just saw out there. A very, very scary situation for all drivers involved.
Yeah, but I do want to iterate what Brad Keselowski was saying. You know, that is a violent crash. That's not a crash that I would want to be in. But as long as that car is turning and moving, that it's throwing that energy off. It's when a car just hits that wall and just stops. That's where a driver can get in trouble. What you really fear for is that car was barrel rolling, and I counted 6 times it barrel rolled down the back straightaway, is if someone else comes along and hits him while he's barrel rolling. Fortunately, that did not happen.
Yeah, so I've been in one of the barrel rolls down the backstretch, and it honestly doesn't hurt that bad as we're just talking about as it's flipping. I remember as I was rolling, closing my eyes because everything was spinning so fast, not wanting to remember or to see it. One thing I would say about this hit, you see him, the angle that he hits at, and as they pan out and you see the way the wall comes out, it's just so weird to me that there's not a better layout for the racetracks of the way the backstretch wall is. I remember Jeff Gordon hit one of those at Vegas years ago. But as we see right here, this flip, I remember everything getting really quiet right there as the car went up in the air, and you just don't know what to expect. And as we watch this car, it's the tires digging in right there that then starts this violent roll. But honestly, as long as no one else hits you other than being a little bit scared and disoriented of everything that's happening right there. And the other fear that you have as a driver, and it's we talked about this with the Jordan Anderson piece in the pre-race show earlier, is fire. That's probably the biggest fear that you have as a driver, is hoping that you land on your tires or the right side up, because it's hard to get out of the car when it's upside down. But then also just wondering, is there going to be a fire? Is the car full of fuel? Is there going to be oil on me? It's the unknowns that you can't prepare for.
Yeah, I know you've told me many times, which I think is really interesting, that you would always close your eyes before those big
I didn't want to remember it. Right. If you have your eyes open, you have a visual of laying down that night of a memory. And I just remember I always shut my eyes, because I'm like, I don't want to remember this or have any more detail of this than what I have to.
Yeah, they are making some track surface repairs. We're going to get back to the booth and Adam and the guys, but I heard Brad and Joey kind of commenting on what they saw on the wreck, wondering from the guys that are on the track who just saw this happen, how hard is it to kind of shake it off? What's that process, guys?
I never thought about closing my eyes, but I love the idea.
Yes.
I might have to give that a shot. I mean, that is something it's for real, though. I remember when I barrel rolled here or rolled over last time, and it's no doubt it goes through your mind that night when you're going to sleep of, holy cow, I was a little closer to the end than I wanted to be, and that plays in your mind for sure. You got to get over it.
As you can see, the red flag has been lifted, and whatever repairs that needed to be made to the racetrack evidently have been completed. And they'll ride around here under yellow to complete the stage. We had a couple of laps left, and we just got a report that Blaine Perkins will be transported to a local medical center for further evaluation. But the good news, as we stated, he climbed from his race car and with some assistance was able to make it to the ambulance, but he will be transported to a local medical facility for further evaluations. Blaine Perkins driving the 02 that went flipping down the back straightaway. Jeb Burton has had a productive afternoon. There was a time when we were concerned about his race car, but they've got it where it needs to be, and he's going to win this second stage. It's so bittersweet when you come here and race, and I think about Jordan Anderson racing and the opportunity that's provided to them when you come to a place like Talladega. Jeb Burton going to win a stage and be in control of this race and have a real shot at his second win here and first of the season, into the playoffs and all that. His teammate Parker Retzlaff involved in the last crash, wrong place, wrong time. It's the highs and lows of racing at Talladega Superspeedway. One lap to go on the stage, but it's going to be Jeb Burton who gets the win. Behind him, Chandler Smith, Ryan Truex, Josh Berry, Daniel Hemrick. We'll step aside. Kaz Grala taking the hit with a tire.